So today we're going to go over a Revenant guide. So if you want to do things like this,
you guys climb that
or one of my personal favorites, something like this, because this is absolutely hilarious, and yeah, we're going to watch that back in slow motion because it's amazing. Now look at this. Gets me every time. Yeah, we're gonna go over how to be the best Revenant you can be. So we're gonna go over first of all the patch notes, what recently come out, which made his buff / nerf. Yeah, we'll go over what was changed basically, and then we'll go over what you can do with his kit to make the most of it really. So let's do it. So just before we get into this guide, I just want to go over Revenant's recent buff. Kind of buff. So you got a slightly slimmed down hitbox, which means that if you look on that picture on the screen, the yellow one on the right is the new one, and yellow one, but the yellow boxes on the right you can see are a lot slimmer. His arms are slightly slimmer, and his upper legs are slightly slimmer. So overall, he's just got a bit skinnier really, and you can get shot less. So really nice change there. His kind of nerfs, you can call them, but don't really affect him too much. First of all, he has a silence when you silence an enemy, he got decreased from 20 seconds to 15, and Death Totem will last 5 seconds less if you don't get sent back automatically. And the big buff that he got was Stalker, which is the climb height increase, which is actually really good, as we'll see in the video, and we'll go through a few things that you can now climb. Right, so let's go over Revenant. I've got Revenant in third person here because I think it's easier to show off his abilities and stuff, and it kind of looks cool. To be in third person, but Rev has been a bit of a controversial character for the last season or so because of King's Canyon. It came out, and Octane's pad buff came out, and combining them two things could be really irritating. So we'll go over why in a minute, but that is it's down to more of the totem than the silence. So obviously we have these three things: Stalker, Silence, and Death Totem. Stalker is the crouch walk and can climb walls higher, and that is the buff that was pretty damn big in the old patch notes. Oh crap! And then we have the Silence, and then we have the Death Totem. The Silence is obviously the tactical. It makes all abilities of all legends you hit with it just disabled for 15 seconds. And finally we have the Death Totem that I won't use right now, but we'll explain it in a bit. It's basically a second chance on life. You get a shot at killing a team, you get 100 health. If you get sent back, you get about 50 health, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go over some things now. To be first of all here, the crouch walking. So this here, obviously, he's a bit quicker. He's a bit like a spider, and this is also the same speed as just walking, but this is silent. And crouching while silent, obviously you're a smaller target. You're silent, and you can move quite quickly. You can also move quite fast while healing. So I'll quickly show that off if you want. Let me just give myself a bit of damage from an arc star. Beautiful that. Yeah. So if I just grab a... Alright, so if I walk and do this, it's kind of like this. But if I crouch, it's a little bit quicker. Or even if it's not quicker, you can definitely move while crouching faster than you can with Rev. It's just worth doing. I think you're a smaller hitbox, and yeah, why not? But it is exactly the same speed as walking. So to be honest, just always do it. It's one of them things that if you use Rev, crouch crouch as much as you can, because sound's a massive thing on this game. Running is obviously going to be faster than the crouching, but I can crouch with a scythe out. Where's the scythe gone? Through his head. That's kind of interesting. Look at that shadow. Nice shadow. God, that's creepy. By the way, I will show you the climbing. There's obviously a lot to show off this with the new buff. He can climb about 35 meters now, I believe. But yeah, he climbs a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit quicker, but I'm not sure. But you can basically scale buildings like this, and I won't go over what buildings you can scale and stuff right now, because honestly, I've gone through a bit of testing, and there's a lot you can do. So at the end of this video, I'm going to whack a load of clips in. Well, maybe not a load, maybe a few clips in of what he can climb around the map. So if you just want to watch that and you're here for that, head to the end of the video. I'll put a timestamp on it, and there'll be a few climbing spots that are pretty cool with Rev. So let's get into his silence. So this is his silence, his tactical ability. Obviously it hits people. If you get hit by it, you can't use your abilities for 15 seconds. It's pretty good to hit at all times really. There's not a time that you shouldn't ever use a silence, because most of the time you get fights, for example in buildings, and when there's a fight in a building, what we'll do is we'll use these as a door. So if this is a door, this thing here, if you just whack a silence on it, you learn a couple things. You learn if they've come through it, you're gonna hit by 10 damage. That's what these things do. I'll just show you on this thing. Obviously they hit 10 damage. You're gonna know if someone passes through that because you'll get a little 10 icon. So you get information of someone coming through a door, and they're also silenced for a while. And there's also kind of a good defense because it's hard to see for them, to be honest, and it's also hard to see people behind them, which we'll go into in a minute. But that's kind of one thing if you're in buildings, is just try and whack them on the doors, because you get information and people do kind of stay away from them if they can. The other one is in fights where, like, if you're in a fight like middle of the map on King's Canyon for example, you get like rocks everywhere like this, and there's just a team like sat in the cover behind here. It's really easy just to whack a silence like here, and that silence would probably hit anyone behind that. It's got a decent radius on it, and that means that the Wraith can't pour out, the Octane can't pad out, and the Caustic can't throw his ult down, or so on. Gibby can't move his bubble. It does make a big difference, and it's one of them things that you won't ever see the difference that it makes, because you'll never see what the outcome would have been. So a lot of the time it doesn't feel very rewarding to silence someone, but it's a lot more rewarding than you think it is. And who the hell, if there's a Wraith running at you or TTV skin on, a TTV name, just silence her and she can't run away. Who wouldn't want to do that? Right, anyway, one more thing on the silence. It's good cover. Now, I know it sounds a bit weird. It doesn't actually, obviously doesn't cover you, as in it doesn't take damage for you. But if we use this mannequin, for example, you silence it. If we look from this angle, you can't really see the mannequin. Now, I can aim in, obviously you can see him a bit, and obviously I know he's there, but you can see him a bit. The point is, it's not easy to see through these things. If you're crouched, say if I whack it in this corner, and you get a Rev just crouched in there, hiding, this is really not easy to see. These can be really good hiding little spots, and the main time I'd use these, that I actually always do use, is when there's a death box. I'll whack on the death box. If we say this is a death box, I'll whack it in front of the death box like that, then just loot behind it, because it just sometimes it does show that you're there, because obviously there's a fat orb in front of the box, but it can actually make it so people can't aim straight at you. If someone's got a sniper, for example, with a scope or something, they can't just aim for your head. You'd probably be quite surprised on how much that can save you. So that's pretty much the most I can say with the silences. They also, as I said, do 10 damage. If you double hit someone with the silence, also you can get 20. It doesn't just silence once, you do double damage. Like if you hit this guy once and hit him again, also you get the 20. So if someone's kind of one shot, double silencing them, good way to finish them off. So next is the controversial side of Rev. Now, it's interesting, this one, because this totem, I don't know. When it first came out, it came with, you didn't have any health when you got back from it. You literally came back 1 health, I think it was. It might have been 10, but you literally had it's very, very little. And it was buffed to have 50 health. Now that's what you come back with now. So if you use this totem, if I just let's show you here a minute. Yeah, if I use the totem, I'll grab some nades. So I'll use the totem here. And I'll just go over here and just nade a crap at myself, and arc star myself, and do a lot. If I get sent back, you can see I come back with 50 health, and you can't use it again because I've already used it. And that's pretty much it. If you get the damage, you come out with 50 health, and you decide if you want to go back in or you just want to stay away. It's a good feel up to a fight. You can feel if you want to go in. You can learn, you get a bit of information from it. So yeah, you come back with 50 health. Now when do you want to use this? There's a few times it's one of them things that you can use, but you have to think about it before you use it. You can't just whack this out whenever you feel like it, because honestly it can be stupid. Also, you come back to it. There's 2 main ways that I'd say that you should use this. One being paired with Octane. Mostly I would say just Octane. He could be paired with kind of Pathfinder, but Octane is definitely the best one for this. So yeah, if there's an Octane, if you're sat up here, for example, with your team as an Octane, there's a random team behind here, just they're there. You just whack the totem out here, pad on their heads, and you basically have 300 health between your team, and you want to try and focus one guy. So obviously it's not the easiest, but that's what you want to do. If you can get the one knock, then you make it an instant 3v2 and you all have 150 health when you get back, or you could have 175 if you have red, but you get a big advantage. You just want to do as much damage as you can. If you get a knock, you can just jump straight back in because you have the Octane pad, and that is what makes Rev so annoying. It is the Octane pads. It isn't Rev. It is a bit of a brain dead thing to use, I guess, because, well, people say it's a brain dead thing to use the totem, but to be honest, it's not. There's a lot of thinking behind it. The amount of times that I've used a totem and there's been a team like sat, just like by the time I get back from the totem, there's a team just sat here, and that's just annoying. But we'll go over that in a minute of how you can kind of avoid that as the best you can. And the other option that you have when using Rev's totem is if you're above a team, there's a team. Let's have an example. Maybe there's a team just like down here behind this. You can whack the totem. I mean, I'd always put it in this far corner here. So I whack the totem here, like that. Then, if you don't have an Octane or anything, you just jump on down, and having 3 people jump down on you and, you know, do damage, it's pretty scary. And yeah, you get sent back and you end up back there. So yeah, it's kind of a free attempt of getting a knock. I didn't even hurt me enough to actually get sent back. Nice. But yeah, so basically a free attempt of a knock, and if you manage it, then yeah, all good. So, oh, I just got back and fell off. Nice. But that's what the totem kind of comes down to. You get, I think it's about 20 to 25 seconds in the death protection of the totem, which it's alright. It's not a bad amount to have. Obviously they reduced it in this recent nerf slash buff. In the recent patch notes for Rev, they did reduce it by 5 seconds. But what a lot of people do is just kind of go one by one. Now the problem with totems are that 90% of the time you do come back. And if you get a team notice where you've put that to, so if obviously it was just here, this is where my totem just was. If there's a team like on here that they've seen us totem down there, easily to get a pad or a zip line over to here, and yeah, just be on the totem. Because when you get back from the totem, it's kind of surprised to you because you don't expect to get sent back, so you're never ready for anything when you get back from that totem. You get a slight 2-second shock of doing absolutely nothing most of the time, and that is when you can die. So that is when placement of the totem comes. It just comes in clutch. Like, you don't want people to be able to see your totem. So even if there was a team over there, you got to try your hardest to maybe even like put it somewhere like this, because they wouldn't be able to see it. And honestly, the information that seeing a totem it gives people so much information, because you're always going to be attacking, and it's always going to be a good opportunity to third party you. So you want to be careful when placing totems. You want to try and put them in the most secretive place you can, which I'd say if I was on this building, for example, I would whack it somewhere around here. Because, I mean, yeah, examples are not great on this because this map's just, yeah, there's not much here. But yeah, you want to place totem as safe as you can. It's always good to use a totem if you want to feel a fight out, for example, if you want to see what they're like, how they're set up, and obviously that's a good thing to do. Another great use of a totem is if you are last one alive and you want to gamble on getting some banners back from people that are in random areas on the map. You can totem and you can actually get banners back, and you can also res people, well, in rev form, or I don't know if I always call it rev form, but it might actually have a different name. It's in death protection, I guess. But yeah, there's a few different things you can do with it, and there's actually a few uses for it. So yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to, the death totem. We're going to get into some gameplay, and I'll just kind of speak over as I go through it. That's what I just wanted to say all that because I wanted to go over it quite well. We'll go over some examples hopefully now with some gameplay, and but yeah, that's basically the basics of Rev. It's just them tips I gave you, they can be very handy, but it's just putting it all together and doing what you can with it, really. So yeah, let's go into some gameplay. We're scaling. Climb, 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 climb. You can't make it up here, right? Oh yeah. He's on the roof of me. You want to revolt me, man? Come on. Come on, my guy, let's go. That's probably going to destroy it. that last one over there? Yeah, we got him, my guy, we got him. Jumping off. Yeah, we chase him. Don't mind the blood at all. Come on, peek. That's all my ammo is. So let's go over some of these clips. The first one was a bit of a live commentary. This one, from now on, I'm just going to talk over it while I'm going and watching the same thing as you are. So in this, I get a little silence on this guy and then kill him, and I stun the silence at that door, and I never realised I hit 10 for him, and I know these come in just because of that. As I said in before this video, you get information quite easily from that, and I end him with a nice scythe kill. Who doesn't like a nice scythe kill? That thing is looking damn cool. So this clip here, once again, I actually get 10 damage extra, which it probably helps me kill him, to be honest, take extra less bullets. So I do the little silence and then finish him off with a 301. As I said, the 10 damage, it can actually be really good, and it kind of does blur people's vision as well. I also get a silence off here as well, but then I think me and my teammate just get for buried, and I end up dying anyway. Yeah, I think I just do that, and then to be honest, I'm surprised I hit like over 84 flesh then. I come out here and then I hit another 36, but I guess it wasn't him. So what do we have here? Okay, so this is the start of the game. I stun check this door and I realise that there's someone there. So instantly I have information and I see lifeline running out here. So I her with a Spitfire, as people do nowadays when they first drop. I miss her several times and eventually pick up a kill with the scythe, because once again, the scythe kills. Who wouldn't want to do those? And then just after that fight, I do continue. My teammate does get knocked there, and this is kind of a few seconds after, because you don't want to watch him the in-between stuff. So a Pathfinder comes up onto the roof. I'm just checking that loot box. If you see a loot box, you normally go and check it, so I was thinking one of them would. So I destroyed the Pathfinder pretty easily, and I keep most of my health. I know there's shields up below me, so I stun check the door just in case anyone stun check. Silence check the door, and then I see the Loba. She actually got really distracted by the silence altogether. She was looking like straight at it because it makes noise, so she probably didn't hear what I was doing. This here shows, this is really weird, this clip, I thought I'd put it in. I do this in game. I literally just put a silence in front of me so I can't get shot. Then I do proceed to loot this box wide open and didn't have silence available. So, it can help, So, yeah. Now I think I actually hit a totem here, and this is a pretty cool little clip. This is perfect. This is perfect rev. So somewhere kind of safe. You want to put it behind cover so it can get shot easily. It's not the safest of places, to be honest, but I know there's no one behind me because I just came from there. So we pad into this team that are already fighting, and I destroy this little Pathfinder. He was already kind of low, to be fair. And then this bang runs past me because she's a bit clueless. And we hit her pretty hard, slide in, and get the big headshot with Eva. So that's a lovely rev push there. I mean, I took on two people that one of them wasn't really looking at me, and I only lost 50 health. I continued, I actually survived the death totem and sent the rev back to his, and you can see I get a bit of damage on him from over there. But later on this fight, my teammate does get knocked, as you can see now, and I managed to get the res off on him. But it's a pretty cool little fight with a Wraith now, and these little climbs like that isn't climbable without rev, and that is what you need to really do as much as you possibly can. Me and his Wraith trade off a few different climbs and things like that, but eventually I do end up killing her. So she's below me here. I hit her kind of 50-ish, I think. Yeah, 42 and a 14 there, and then I know she's up top, but I know that I can climb quickly, and you can just climb like fast and stuff, and she won't expect where I climb. Obviously she see me and she hit me pretty hard, so I quickly get the bat off. I can hear I would have pushed underneath, but there was actually Watson fences on her team, so I hear her come out here, and when I drop down, luckily hit her for the 100, and then I finish her off with not one and then the two silences. So I did mention that in the start of this, they do 20 damage, and without that, I mean, I could have pushed it, probably would have killed her either way, but still it made it kind of cool that I killed her with silence. So this here is just another quick climb off a wall, and there's a Loba that just died my teammate, and easy finish. But that climb was made really easy because of rev. Obviously if you're Pathfinder or Valk, also very easy, but cool little clip. So in this one, the Gibby walked around the corner and we hit the Gibby quite hard. Teammate proceeds to knock the Gibby while I get us a few hills off. But what I quite liked about this clip, now this is kind of close to what it would have been perfect if it just got there a second before. But you see the silence right about now. Here. There. The bubble goes up just before it blocks it. If that bubble doesn't go up, he gets silence and that bubble wouldn't go up at all. Now my teammate knocks the Gibby again anyway, and then Bloodline runs at me and I get a big PK straight in the head, which is lovely. How satisfying. So this one here, we get a double silence off, which, well, to be fair, I don't think it silenced that guy. No, it didn't silence that guy, but then I see that it hits 10 after, and the Octane's on his way up, so he's now silenced, he can't spin anywhere. I just dropped down on him, and to be honest, I don't know why I didn't just drop straight down on him, but we get the beak, and he's dead. But the silence come in handy then, because if he, I don't know if he would have ran, but he had the opportunity to run if he wanted to. So what have we got here? We got the 9. Okay, yeah, so we're in the 5-story building with my teammate here. And I think a Valk actually is around. Oh yeah, so teammate gets a knock there. Let me see to go upstairs. Okay, yeah, we kill this one guy. And then I think we quickly loot this guy up. Finish him. So I put a silence there for 2 reasons. 1, because it does an extra 10 damage. And 2, you know, it could cover you. Someone else could walk into it. Just because you have 2 available all the time, so whack them down whenever you can. I get a pretty nice kill on this lifeline who walked into a random Watson fence, nothing to do with me, but you know, quite like the kill, so I whacked it in. But I do put a silence on that. Now that's what I mean by silence checking everything. I whack a silence there, and I'm just struggling to climb here, but I do manage to climb up. This is the same game, and destroy this team, because to be honest, you can do that without Rev, but Rev just makes climbing a lot easier. It just feels a lot cleaner when you climb a Rev. I'm not even sure if it is faster. This Valk randomly pushes me here when she's on flesh from getting smashed by the teammate. And, to be honest, this stuff is it was kind of Rev based, because I do like, obviously I keep silence checking stuff, but this is just a few good clips now that I got, because honestly these clips just kind of, they're just nice to watch at the same time as playing Rev. So I jump off here, and this Octane is just on the floor, finishing off with the Eva. And yeah, you can see a lot of the time I do silence check a lot of stuff. This here was a fight that lasted a long time. There's a lot of points in this fight where I'd use Rev's abilities to climb up. And I gotta get this one clipped and doesn't have a clue what to do. Honestly, I thought it was one team, it turned out to be 2. The Rev and the Bang were on completely different teams, so I'm just fighting 2 different teams here right now. I do jump off here, and I realise there's actually a Bang getting rezzed in there, so I'm like, okay, time to jump off. The Rev actually decides to follow me. Now I do destroy him pretty hard, and I manage to run away and get the Phoenix off. So he gets smashed, but I actually end up getting rezzed, I think, at some point in this. So I'm coming back now, and I can hear the res. I put a silence on that door, so I know if anyone comes out of that door. Although I better hear it, I would just 100% know that it'd be that door. So I can walk on this corner and hit the Loba. So I kill the Loba pretty quickly and just finish her, I think. And as you can see, that door just there was a Rev on the door, and he managed to get away. But it did hit him for 10, the silence. So once again, I knew that just from this, and to be honest, he wasn't going to come back, because I'm sure he had no health left anyway, so he was never going to come back. But I chuck a silence there, because if anyone drops down, they'll land on a silence, and if they do fancy dropping down, they would have got scared. Now, this here, I climb up, and I see the Rev again, hit him for like 20, it does crack him. But then I realise there's actually another guy above me. I look up here, and I snap pretty quickly to this Wraith, to be honest. I hit her for about 75, and then Eva her for the next 3. Run away, just quickly get a bat off. And yeah, I do get a bat off. I was trying to question myself there. And then I do actually come back after that fight. The Wraith died. And then I finish off picking up the Rev kill. So I just want to do a bit of commentary over to the top of that, kind of explaining what I do, the thinking behind things. And I could have got a lot more Rev clips if I decided to play Rev in ranked with an Octane teammate. But honestly, I just don't like playing that way most of the time. I don't really care that people do play it, but I just don't enjoy it that much, because I don't know, I just don't. But I mean, it's up to you what you play. You can play whatever you feel like playing. But yeah, Octane and Rev, perfect combination. Rev is actually quite good now. I don't like how tall he is still. He just feels a bit clunky because he is so tall. But his abilities and his climb now is actually really, really nice for certain things. On the first clip there, if you do want to go back to it, go for it. But I do manage to climb up the massive wall, which is massive wall, the massive 4 or 5 story building in the corner of Cap. You can also climb up Bunker. You can also climb into the cage on Kings Canyon. You can literally climb everything. The one thing I found that you can't climb is the elevator shafts on the Kings Canyon maps near, what's it called? Near Artillery, I think it's called. Yeah, there's big elevator shafts that have zip lines going through them, but you cannot climb that. But you know, there's zip lines, so you don't really need to anyway. But you can literally climb everything. Yeah, there's not much you can't climb. So yeah, that's been it from me, guys. If you enjoyed it, if you learned anything, I know it's been quite a long one. If you stuck around this long one, thank you very much. But I hope you learned something. And if you'd have, whack it in the comments and let me know what you learned. But cheers, guys. Thanks for watching, and peace out for now.